Saul's wife. And if that hadn't been enough, he'd have gave you such and such more. But you had to have just that one little ewe lamb. David made a choice. One more man, and I'm going to ease on. Jonah made a choice. Can you imagine God saying, Jonah, go down to Nineveh. Tell Nineveh about themselves. Go down and let them know that they've sinned, and their sin has come up before me. As I said, with a choice, there's two things you can have. And Jonah decided on the other. I ain't going. And sometimes our decisions cause us to go down. We make decisions sometimes that cause us to go down. Here comes Jonah. He went down to Joppa. Went down to the ticket office. Bought a ticket and went down to the pier to board a ship that was going down to Tarshish. Got on the ship and went down into the bottom of the ship and went down into a sea. That's a lot of downs, y'all. That's a whole lot of downs. I can imagine him down there, and he's sleeping pretty good. But the one thing I know is no matter how down you are, God can find you. Here I am down all these places, down in the bottom of the ship, and he found me. Said that a storm came. Now when sailors know something different about the storm, you got a problem now. It's one thing, I've been on a couple of cruises that kind of rocked me a little bit, that had me scared, but the other folk who work on the ship were walking around like it wasn't no problem. But when those who do it every day get afraid, oh, it's time to know that there's a problem. Said that they went out and brought Jonah up, just one up, just one. But as soon as he got up, they threw him down into the sea. Then he went down into a fish that had been prepared, and he said, for 3 days and 3 nights, I was down in hell. Now, hell is rough, y'all. And he's down there. And now, the one thing I can remember, y'all, about taking these multiple choice questions is it's good to take them in pencil. Don't take them in pencil. I can imagine, the Bible said that God made the fish sick. And he vomited Jonah up onto the land. Oh, I can imagine Uncle John, Jonah pulling out that test again. The one where he just chose to run, taking that pencil and... Sometimes when you get it wrong, my brother Lee, you have to take your pencil in. The reason I know I'm right about it is said that same God came back and told him to go to Nineveh again, and this time he said, Lord, how soon you want me to go? Without an argument. Yeah. When the storm came, Jonah had made the wrong choice. Now I'm easing on. Find today in our text that Joshua is posing a choice unto Israel. He's giving them a choice. We know that in the previous chapter, in chapter 23, that he had called together all of Israel. He had called together all the leaders, all the elders, all the heads, all the judges, and all the officers. Y'all need to come on down here. I need to talk to you. See, he had gotten old and he thought he was about to die. He wanted to have a chance to talk to his people. He began to tell them the Lord been good to us. Brought us from a mighty long way. Never turned his back on us. Everything he told us he'd do, he has he has done. Not one thing that he promised has he not delivered unto us. And then he sent them on back home. But I can imagine God let him live just a little while longer because he had another meeting. He needed him to call these same people. Same people too. And I can imagine, you know how we are. Didn't he just call a meeting last week? I had to leave my peas in the field last week when he called us to come back down there. But this time, Joshua made it known, I'm not calling you for me. God said we need to present ourselves at Shechem, which is the place that Abraham first stopped at on his way through Canaan land. Got there and he began to tell them things. Now as I began to list this thing, it's kind of like a history lesson. Oh, if y'all don't mind, y'all ought to come on walk with me as we go through this history lesson. It might just parallel some things that we've been through. Y'all gonna walk with me. Here we go. He began by telling them that long time ago, your fathers lived on the other side of the flood, the great river Euphrates, and they worshipped other gods. But there had to be something about Abram who would become Abraham, because he said he didn't pick out Terah, his daddy. He didn't pick out Nahor, his brother. He picked out Abraham. Said, now get thee from among your kindred. Get thee from among your folk. And get thee into a land that I will show thee. I can see the brother there going and say, Daddy, Abraham down there packing up. He said, well, boy, he just might be moving the flock to a different field. No, Daddy, you don't understand. He's packing everything. And he's taking Lot with him. Daddy, head down there. Boy, what's wrong with you, Daddy? All I can tell you is, I heard a voice. Daddy, I got to tell you, I've heard you call me many times, and it wasn't you that called me. I've heard my brother call me. It wasn't his voice that I heard. I've been amongst all these gods all my life, and I never heard them say a mumbling word. So I know it wasn't them that called me, but I heard a voice, and I believe it was the voice of God. And Daddy, I got to choose to obey the voice. Called him out of that land, the Ur Chaldees, and sent him into Canaan, and told him everywhere your footstep, everywhere your eyes see, one day I'll give it to your children for an inheritance. Oh, I can see him as he walked. He gave him Isaac. Unto Isaac he gave Esau and Jacob. I'm beginning to fulfill the thing. He said, now, to show you that even when you ain't always in the plan, he gave unto Esau Mount Seir for an inheritance. So even sometime when I might not be in the plan, every now and then they give him a cross to go and raise. I might not have done nothing to get to raise, but I got to raise anyway. But for Jacob, I sent him down into Egypt land. Down there for a while, they became slaves. Then I sent Aaron and Moses down there, and I plagued them with a bunch of plagues. Pharaoh got hot and said, just get out. Just leave. But on their way out, they left, and he got mad. Every now and then, when we make choices, folk get mad at us. The Bible says that he sent out his chariots to go get them and bring them back. I ain't making these bricks. Go get them back in this area. Can't you see them going down? And God said, out of the Red Sea, I saved your people. Cause that the sea to fall back upon them. And then I see them as they came out. He said they were still murmuring. Then after they came out of the Red Sea, I brought them down to the other side of the Jordan, over there where Amorites were living. And he told them then, he said, I gave them into your hand. Then I ran up on Balak. Balak decided, y'all need to call Balaam. Tell him he need to hurry up and get on down here. These Israelites running crazy over us down here. They've taken everything that on. I need some help. Come on down here and pray. That lamb almost beat a donkey to death. I come to tell you, even when it's meant for bad, God can turn it into good. Here they are, headed down over to the Jordan River. First thing they meet is the city with the Great Wall. A city called Jericho. Now, I don't know much about walls. Had never been in an army. But the one thing I do know is you don't win wars by marching. The Bible says they simply marched around the wall. And with a shout, the walls came tumbling down. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah. He went on and he said, I sent you now over into the next land. And there were some other folks there. Amorites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Hittites, Girgasites, Hivites, and Jebusites. All of them I delivered into your hands. I sent the hornet before you. Your reputation of taking care of folks. Then why y'all can put 1,000 of them to flight? That's the kind of reputation you got in the land. Yeah. Over into there, you went over into the city, and you did, and you got now certain things. He laid some stuff out. Yes, he did. He said, now Israel, here's where we are. You're living in a land for which you did not live. You're living in cities that you didn't build, but you're dwelling in them. You're eating from vineyards and olive groves that you didn't plant, but you're eating out of them anyway. Ain't God good? But I can believe here Joshua's about through with his history lesson. And I'm about through walking with y'all. It's about time for a test. There's been a history lesson laid out. It's about time for a test. Get your pencil. Get your paper. Here comes the question. Whether it seems right to you to serve the Lord. Come on, walk with me. Whether it seems right for you to do what is right. Or if it seems right unto you, make your choice. Look at him as he begins to lay out the answers here. In 8, he said, the God whom your father served on the other side of the Euphrates. B would be the God of whom you learned about in Egypt. C would be the Amorites in whose land you not dwell. I believe Joshua made a choice. As much as I like multiple choice question, God, ain't nothing like when a teacher walks in. Say, I'm going to give you the answer. Can't you see Joshua telling the people, I'll give you the answer. My answer is D. None of the above. So as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I got one more thing I'm going to tell y'all.